This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs on the Hogstye Network.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent, Season 7, Episode 16, brought to you by Rick Snyder's Washington across social media. And I'm Rick Snyder.
And I'm Matt.
And what do you have there, Matt?
I got a book.
It's a book? I didn't know you could read. Wow.
I know one or two words in here.
So what did inscribe say?
Let's see if they can.
Like
the son I always wanted.
There you go. So 8 years later, I atoned for my last one. There you go. That was my new out in case you haven't got it. For
those of you that don't know, when he did the 101, 100 things Redskins fans should know and do before they die, he wrote it to the son I'm glad I wish I never had, or I'm glad I never had. So in this one, he made sure to correct his error.
Yeah. Well, 100 Things Commanders fans, you can buy it from me at monumentalthoughts.com. And you can buy it at Amazon, but that would be Jeff Bezos' money instead of mine. So I know only a few of you have bought it so far, but yeah, it's a tough season when you start out 0-3. I'm sorry, 1-3. Forgot to win. Man, just think if they got lucky and beat Jacksonville, they'd be 0-4. And Sons of Liberty would come back and torch people.
Yeah, and they would have lost to two of the lowliest franchises in the NFL the past couple of years, the Jaguars and the Lions.
Yeah, and we are part of the Mighty Hogstye Network on audio and YouTube here on video. So please hit the thanks button at the bottom, and all money goes to Matt's Soda Habit, which is all we can probably get. But the thanks button, hey, help us out here. Okay, so Washington Commanders are playing Tennessee Titans on Sunday, and then a quick turnaround. They're going to Chicago to play the Bears on Thursday night. So if you don't have Amazon Prime yet, it's okay. Well, depends on where you live. If you're in Washington, the deal is the NFL cut was Prime does it nationally, but the local markets can still carry the game on whatever local channel. I guess this would be a Fox channel. So you won't be shut out if you live in Washington. Now, if you live elsewhere, you need Prime. And yes, I know how to get Prime. It's not that hard. So do what you have to do. But anyway, Tennessee is, I thought Tennessee underperformed a little its first few weeks, but they had a pretty good game last week. So just in time to get going. Not a great team, I guess, but good enough to beat Washington.
They've lost their wide receiver that they drafted, Traylon Burks, I believe, for the whole season. Or actually, no, he has turf toe, so he'll be out for at least a few weeks, and that'll nag him all season. So, but you still have to deal with a guy by the name of Derrick Henry, who has rushed for about 2,200 yards in the last couple seasons, and that's in a single season, not combined. But yes, you have to deal with that bulldozer known as Derrick Henry. Their defense is decent. They're well coached. I got a feeling we're going to be doing it. My friends will be joining us next week as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Those poor guys. Well, is this a red alert game? I mean, do they have to win this?
Yes.
Not an NFC game.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's an AFC game. It's an out-of-conference game. It's an out-of-division game. I understand all that stuff. It's the Tennessee Titans. You only see them every 4 years. But the fact of the matter is that this team is damn near rock bottom. Right now, there is not one positive thing to say about them unless you're Ron Rivera and you're going to pull them in and show them all the nice things that they did. This is, you lose to the Titans and you might as well just play the Titanic music. They'll get a couple wins here and there that you don't expect them to get, but any kind of playoff chances or any kind of expectations that this team had at the beginning of the season all go down the wayside.
Yeah, Ron Rivera in his presser on Monday used some curse words, which he usually doesn't. Dropped an F-bomb, an S-bomb. And I always watch everything every coach. I've always watched every presser, or if I had been at him, or just, now you can do it on YouTube and internet. So I can see when things are out of character. And that was very out of character for Ron. I mean, he kind of said them without any real passion, but he said them. It's like, this blanket team franchise has won 5 championships. Yeah, but not anyway. That's history back there. 2 were in the 30s and 40s. 3 were with Gibbs. But he got a little bit, mustard there about the fans were upset, and I just thought that was really out of character with him, which shows me the stress is bothering him more than he would like us to realize.
Yeah, but even fans like me who, I watched those Super Bowls. I watched the Washington Redskins win Super Bowls. This is no longer the Washington Redskins. This team has not been good minus 2012 since what, for 25 years, it seems,
Yeah, pretty. And that's what I hate about the black uniforms the other day against Dallas. It's like, wow, it really is no longer the franchise because now the burgundy and gold's not even there. It's a black uni that could have been from Gwen Park High where I went, something like that. It did not look like Washington. And I thought, man, this is really, I've heard it from other fans saying that's like the total separation anymore. Don't even have the burgundy and gold.
Yeah. And we still haven't seen the burgundy jerseys. I mean, we saw that white gradient thing, which is awful. The black jersey wasn't too offensive, but they look like the Steelers. They look like the Steelers, like you said last show, the JV team. And it's funny. The black uniforms are the only one that have something going down the side of the pants. And it's a very faint gray camo down the side of the pant. That's all we've been asking for. Add the burgundy and gold stripes back to the damn pants, please. But yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, at what point, we can only how long can we talk about 1991? How long can we talk about 1987? Like we're losing steam with that. There's teams that have passed us by. We don't have the legacy and the lineage of the Packers or the Bears. You've seen the Seahawks rise up the past 10 years. The 49ers have been down. They were one of the dominant teams in the 80s. The Cowboys have won one playoff game since the last Super Bowl win. These teams from the past, these heavy hitters from the past, they're not any good anymore. And we're in that bowl, we're in that bucket. We're not that good. And it's like, how much longer can we hold on to that stuff?
Yeah, it's like the old people who follow the Bears or the Browns or the Lions. Those teams were great decades ago. Well, that's what's happened in Washington too. And this stuff about it taking so long to rebuild. Look at Cincinnati; they jumped back up pretty quickly.
Look at Philadelphia.
They got a couple players, and that made a difference.
Look at Philadelphia. Philadelphia wins the Super Bowl in 2018. They fire their head coach a year later. They get rid of their both of their quarterbacks from that season, Wentz and Foles. They draft a kid pretty high. They give him the keys to the offense, and they rebuild the team. And they're 4-0. They're the only undefeated team in the league. It doesn't take long if you know what you're doing. And everybody killed Philadelphia for their hire, for the head coach's hire. That kid, yeah, he's a kid. He knows what he's doing. Everybody killed the Rams for hiring Sean McVay. We thought that they hired McVay too early. Kids won a Super Bowl. It's crazy. Like the Redskins, the Washington football team, and now the Commanders, they just can't hit on that young offensive or defensive, however you want to go, minded head coach that's going to take them to the next level. Your comparison with Ron and Norv is perfect. He's going to come in here. Well, actually, Ron underperformed compared to Norv. Let's be honest. At least Norv had some winning seasons and could keep his job. Ron is just, yeah, you won the division, but you won the division at 7-9. And the fact of the matter is, going back to what I was saying, how long can we hold on to this stuff? Realistically, Ron, you can't claim those trophies anymore because those trophies were awarded to the Washington Redskins. They were not issued to the Washington Commanders. You should have taken this opportunity to put a good team on the field and go out and start fresh and start hot. But instead, the same old Redskins applies. No matter the name, no matter the colors, no matter the team, they're the same old Redskins.
You know who the only person out at the park remaining who was at that Super Bowl last one?
Doug Williams. Or no. Doug won in 87. Oh,
Only person out there at the park.
probably the secretary.
No, she's gone too.
Oh, that's right. They fired her.
No,
I don't know.
It's me. I was at the game covering it. I'm the last one. So, sometimes when they want to know about history, they ask me a question because,
Wow.
Yeah, I outlasted all of them on there.
Well,
all right, so let's pick. We're going to switch over to Nats in a second, but I'm going to go Titans 27, Washington 23.
I'll say Titans 24, Washington 13.
Yeah. All right. Before we go, let's talk Nats because the season's ended now. The worst season in Nationals history, the most losses ever on there. And I know that now the the three worst teams now do like a lottery for the first overall pick. But, whatever, like the NBA, that way you're not accused of tanking. I don't think anybody accused the Nats of tanking. They just weren't good enough. I saw Patrick Corbin finish with 19 losses. Woo, 19 losses. That's pretty hard. He missed a starter. It would have been 20 losses. That's hard to lose 20 games in a year, and yet get paid big money and be back next year. But wow, I knew we didn't expect them to be great forever, but woo, man, and they just fell apart. They won 26 home games the whole year. And the interesting part, the Phillies were, I think, 14-3 against them, or 17-3, something like that. And they were 70-70 against the rest of the league. So Phillies, made it off of them. It's just incredible how bad this went. And I guess we'll see a new owner soon. As soon as the season's over, we'll start really hearing who's going to buy it. I figure by the end of the year. But it became unwatchable at the end. I just couldn't take it.
There are bright spots, obviously. I mean, he's 30 years old, but he is a rookie. Joey Meneses. He's earned a role on this team and a spot on this team. CJ Abrams seems to be the real deal. Josiah Gray is probably going to end up being probably a bottom of the rotation type guy, but he'll definitely be a starter. I think, Rick, the thing that it all boils down to with the Nationals is what are they going to be able to do with Corbin's contract, and what is the future of Steven Strasburg? Strasburg, look, to their credit, Strasburg, Corbin, and Scherzer, they all laid it on the line for that World Series. We saw them all pitch in Game 7. Strasburg was your World Series MVP, as he should have been. Maybe Howie Kendrick had something to say about that. But, they laid it all out on the field for that title, and they got it. But we've heard rumors that Strasburg may never play again. I mean, it's that serious. So, what becomes of that money? What becomes of that contract? And I think it all depends on those two guys and what you can do with them. But they do have a couple bright spots. Look, they ended up with Harper, Strasburg, Rendon, and all these guys through the draft because they sucked. Let's go through a couple more years of suck and end up with a couple more guys like that.
I mean, but you look at the Astros, they won 100 games again this year.
Well, they switched from trash cans to something else, I'm sure.
I guess. All right, we got to get out of here. I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
See you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Seasons of Discontent on the Hogstye Network.